Hardy, and I have the coolest job on the whole planet. And that is that I teach people how to love themselves. It is such wonderful work. It's just like, it's so gratifying to do this work. Essentially what I do is I work with clients who have maybe self-loathing, sometimes just a lack of confidence, sometimes a lack of capacity to accept themselves. It could be a lack of self-esteem or self-worth. And I work with them normally over about 10 sessions or so. And I take them from this state of not enough-ness, of not okayness, of feeling fearful and anxious and lacking a sense of self-worth or well-being, of super heightened sensitivity, of social anxiety, all of that kind of stuff that shows up when you don't have an unconditional sense of self-acceptance or self-worth or self-love. And I take them from that all the way to unconditional self-love. And in a state of unconditional self-love, it's such a wonderful, freeing, joyful place to be, because when you're in unconditional self-love, you don't have to stress about every little thing. You can come out of anxiety, you can come out of self-judgment, you can come out of worrying about what people think about you, you can come out of fear about how you show up in the world, you can come out of proving, you can come out of perfectionism, you can come out of being a control freak, and you can just relax. You can relax into being yourself, you can relax into living your authentic experience, you can relax into trusting that you are enough in this world. And it is, this is a process that I've been through myself, only instead of taking 10 hours, it took me 20 years. I know. 20 years, it was hardcore. I had to really, really, really try to understand how it worked to learn to love yourself. And obviously, the fact that it took me 20 years means that I did not understand it quickly. But when I finally got to this place where I could do it, where I could suddenly, it made sense to me, oh, this is how you learn to love yourself. This is how it actually works, the process of moving into self-love. It occurred to me that I'd been wasting my time for most of those 20 years, because actually learning to love yourself is really quite easy. And the reason it's so easy, and I found it so difficult, is that I do something completely different now to what I used to do when I was trying to learn to love myself. And from what other people are doing when they try to do personal development and self-esteem work, which is that we try to suppress the symptoms. So, I spent 20 years trying to suppress the symptoms, trying to suppress aggression and trying to suppress defensiveness and trying to suppress my deep, deep, deep sense of sensitivity to what other people thought about me, and self-judgment and my fear of judgment of others and my fear of failure and of not being successful. And all of that stuff was a symptom of not being unconditionally self-loving. And trying to suppress a symptom is nigh on impossible. It's hard work. You have to be on it all the time. I had small gains, admittedly. It's not like it all just happened at once, but the tiny little gains I had came from insights. They did not come from trying to work on the symptom itself. They came from insights about where the symptom was coming from. And when I did finally learn to love myself, I discovered that actually I'd been going about it all wrong. That the way that you actually need to go about learning to love yourself is to understand, firstly, how does my mind work to create my felt experience, to create my emotional experience of life? And secondly, what are the belief systems and the sabotage programs that are completely unconscious, on which my behavior and my experience and this feeling are based? And they're actually quite universal. Occasionally I come across somebody who's got something really different going on, but in general there's quite a common set of misunderstandings and belief systems that our society has created within us that lead us to have this feeling of not enoughness. And there are things about proving, and there are things about perfectionism, and there are things about being better than we are, and there are things about how we have to show up in the world. And really all we have to do in order to love ourselves unconditionally is to see these belief systems are running the show. These sabotage programs are creating the behavior or the feelings that we don't want to have to experience. They're creating this identity and sense of ourselves that we're not enough. So that is how I work. I teach people how their minds work, and we work on the sabotage programs and belief systems that keep them stuck. And it is pretty quick and it's pretty easy because we don't have to delve back into your history. We don't have to go into all these experiences of your past. We don't have to cry for 15 years over all the things that led you to this place. We just have to understand, what did they create in terms of what you believe to be true about the world? And seeing them for what they are means that we can change those belief systems. And the moment you change a belief system, you get instantaneous results, because you cannot behave in the same way again if you have a new belief system. So it's really easy to learn to love yourself, and it is my great pleasure and joy to walk this journey with my clients and teach them to go from this sense of not-enoughness and sometimes a sense of loathing and a lack of appreciation for themselves, and certainly a lack of self-worth and self-esteem, to just being unconditionally self-loving and being able to be their authentic selves at all times. So if this is a journey for you, you should give me a call and we should see about working together, because it is so cool, this work that I do. It is just so exciting, and it's such a wonderful, interesting and exciting journey for my clients also. So give me a call and we'll get together and do something for you.